Have you ever wondered what happens when a leader refuses to be controlled? Meet President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. He's become one of the most targeted leaders in the world today, not because of tyranny, but because of his strong convictions. From Washington to Paris, powerful nations want him removed. Inside his own country, political elites and hidden traitors are plotting against him. Even some African leaders see him as a threat to the status quo. But Traoré's only crime is standing firm against foreign influence. He's reclaimed national pride and put Burkina Faso's future above global interests. For that, powerful forces want him gone, by any means necessary. Traoré is not just sitting back waiting for the next attack. In the face of increasing threats, he is reinforcing his inner circle. He's building an advanced security network to protect himself. But what exactly is this system, and what does it say about the battles ahead? Consider this. No other African leader has survived more than 15 assassination attempts in just 2 years. From the day he took office, Traoré has been in a constant state of alert. No rest, no peace, only coup attempts after coup attempts. Political drama, sure, but this feels more like a war. A war against a man who represents something hugely important, far beyond just a government. He's a symbol of hope, not because he rules with an iron fist, but because he dares to challenge the norm. Why haven't leaders from Gabon, Chad, Mali, and Niger faced this level of danger? What sets Traoré apart? He is not just a soldier or a president. He is the embodiment of a revolution. He unofficially leads the AES alliance and spiritually guides a movement. His speech at the Russia-Africa summit ignited the passion of Pan-African thinkers around the world. His vision and relentless defiance connect others to him. And that's exactly why he's now the most wanted man in Africa, dead or alive. On April 16, 2025, another coup plot targeting Traoré was uncovered. The attempt was foiled, but the danger hasn't disappeared. The risks have only evolved. Those who wish to see him gone are regrouping, planning their next move, and they vowed to strike before June 2025. Where do they go to plot? Not into the shadows, but to the Ivory Coast, which has been increasingly accused of working with France to destabilize Burkina Faso. They were welcomed there, not as fugitives, but as allies. Under the protection of Ivorian authorities, a new operations center has been established. Their mission: finish what they started. But Traoré isn't sitting still. He's launched a bold countermeasure, often referred to as the lockdown doctrine. It's more than just heightened security, it's a total reset. Everything around him, people, processes, priorities, has been reevaluated. Local reports describe this doctrine, where loyalty is prized above rank and surveillance replaces tradition. The first big change? A complete overhaul of the presidential guard. This elite force is responsible for protecting Traoré. In a world where betrayal can happen from within, this isn't just necessary, it's essential for survival. As the air in Ouagadougou remains tense, one thing is clear. Traoré is gearing up for the next attack. If high-ranking military officers are willing to betray him, what's to say betrayal doesn't also reside within his personal security team? Some of these traitors didn't just leave. They paid off fellow soldiers to stir chaos within the army. So Traoré made a decisive move. He reframed the presidential guard, reshuffling teams and quietly removing suspicious individuals. He replaced them only with those who demonstrated further loyalty. But merely being loyal wasn't enough. Every new recruit underwent an exhaustive vetting process, much deeper than just background checks. They examined school records, family ties, political leanings, and international contacts. In the end, only those who cleared every hurdle got to wear the uniform. Today, this presidential guard is not just elite. They're handpicked, toughened, and incredibly loyal. But Traoré didn't stop there. The betrayal by one man exposed another vulnerability: communication systems. Their outdated infrastructure allowed spies to leak sensitive military intelligence undetected. Now that loophole is closed. Traoré has revamped Burkina Faso's communication network. He's introduced encrypted systems designed to catch and track suspicious transmissions in real time. Any soldier inclined to leak information or conspire against the government will be caught, and there won't be a second chance. As threats continue to mount, Traoré has activated another layer of defense, a dormant entity known as the Office of Internal Counterintelligence. Previously focused only on external risks, its mission has shifted inward. No one is exempt. Every cabinet minister, every provincial commander, local police chiefs, their political allegiances are under scrutiny. If anyone's views clash with President Traoré's vision, they face reassignment far from power. To some, this may seem extreme. Others might call it paranoid. But in a region rife with betrayal, that paranoia could mean survival. History offers a cruel lesson. Thomas Sankara, a revolutionary icon, was betrayed and murdered by his closest allies. Traoré has learned from this. He's determined to avoid making the same mistakes.
And guess what?
He isn't just tightening his grip. He's also using something more unconventional, a secret weapon that not many know about. Since he took power, Traoré established a civilian militia made up of everyday Burkinabe citizens willing to defend their country. Known as the VDP Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, they were first created to protect villages from terrorist attacks. However, they've evolved into a crucial part of national defense. They're a buffer between the people and chaos, untouched by colonial loyalties that may persist in the traditional army. In the wake of the latest coup attempt, Traoré is using the VDP not just as protectors of the villages, but as a shield for the revolution itself. Now mobilized and reorganized, the VDP has been deployed across Burkina Faso, stationed in strategic, administrative, and military centers. But their role goes beyond guarding. They are now spies. They report suspicious movements or behaviors directly to the presidency. These civilian defenders are fiercely loyal to Traoré. They are intended to spot and alert to any signs of conspiracy or betrayal early on. Traoré hasn't stopped at just deploying the VDP. He's also launched a biometric tracking program disguised as a national registration effort. This program tracks movements of flagged individuals considered threats, whether they're civilians or military personnel. Every single action of those tied to the April 16th plot is under surveillance. It's a new stage of monitoring, but not everyone approves of this change. Critics, especially those outside the nation, are claiming Traoré is becoming a dictator, using fear and technology to control his people. But for those who stand with Traoré, this isn't anything new. They've witnessed the attacks, the betrayals. President Traoré himself has said that Burkina Faso is not a democracy, it's a revolution. And revolutions thrive on vigilance, sacrifice, and survival. According to Traoré, no nation has ever truly advanced through democracy alone. He believes that countries leading in technology and sovereignty didn't just get there through peaceful elections. For him, Burkina Faso's story is similar. This is about revolution without the comforts. But revolutions come with resistance. Those inside and outside the country fear what Traoré represents, change. These same folks prefer Burkina Faso to remain among the world's poorest nations. They find comfort in the ongoing insecurity, thriving amid the chaos. As Traoré rises, the elites face the loss of power and profit. External actors play a more sinister role. Burkina Faso's weaknesses open doors to exploit its resources and untapped wealth. With Traoré's vision of self-reliance and industrial growth, suddenly those doors are under threat. Since Traoré's inception, there have been multiple coup attempts in a single year. But in a surprising twist, Traoré chose to show mercy the first time. Instead of vengeance, he warned the conspirators to distance themselves or face consequences. But that initial plot was just the beginning. October 2023 saw another wave of attempts against him. This time, there were no warnings, only arrests and immediate investigations. Burkina Faso increasingly felt like a nation at war, not just from without, but also against itself. As the 10th coup attempt was discovered, it became clear this situation escalated into something else. Intelligence traced this plot back to Paul-Henri Damiba, a former military leader now in exile. He coordinated with known terrorist groups and received hush-hush support from authorities in Ivory Coast. The result was a brutal attack, resulting in numerous casualties among soldiers and civilians. Damiba's conspiracy aimed at sowing chaos and dismantling Traoré's authority. The ultimate goal? A coup, a breakdown, disarray. Of course, the plans failed, leading to arrests and scattering of conspirators. Yet subsequent coup attempts emerged, each revealing foreign interference, fueling instability. The pattern is clear. Traoré's recent security measures weren't simply prudent, they're a vital strategy. Because this conflict isn't just about leadership. It's a war against hidden foes and traitors looking to distort the future of Burkina Faso. For Traoré, self-preservation is not merely for himself, but for a vision for the nation. A vision where Burkina Faso can finally break free. Isn't it disheartening that someone striving for genuine change must take such extreme steps to protect himself? Why can't people simply allow him to fulfill his mission? His fight against terrorism and internal strife seems daunting. In a chaotic environment, how genuine can any fight against extremism be? What's even more frustrating is that Traoré is fending off a storm of media attacks, often much more harmful. The media wields immense power. A few words from a major outlet can twist narratives and sway millions. Those opposed to Traoré are weaponizing misinformation to undermine him. Recently, the U.S. commander began hurling accusations against Traoré, claiming he's using the nation's gold for personal protection. That's just ridiculous. Traoré has emphasized using resources for the populace, not for his own benefit. Even if he uses some gold for security, isn't that expected? He's navigating constant threats after all. Why does the U.S. always feel the need to interfere whenever an African leader intends to stand firm for his nation? It doesn't end with gold. Another fringe story claims Traoré is enriching himself with national wealth. Honestly, that's laughable. We've seen corruption in Africa before. Leaders living lavish lifestyles while their people suffer. Traoré doesn't fit that mold. If he were corrupt, signs of it would show in his lifestyle. But instead, he dresses modestly and drives what he needs, not what flaunts wealth. He stays grounded, facing challenges head-on while engaging with everyday people. And ask yourself, how often do you see that? Media outlets use every opportunity to turn public opinion against him. At one point, headlines erupted, claiming that Traoré was targeting specific ethnic minorities like the Fani. They made it seem like he'd made them the focus of a military endeavor. The claims sparked protests, especially among Burkinabe communities in France. But just like the wild accusations surrounding gold and corruption, it was a blatant falsehood. Traoré's administration has never targeted the Fani people. If such a campaign existed, local journalists would have reported it. Yet the loudest critics are often outsiders, people who have never stepped foot in Burkina Faso. So, where do we go from here? It's crucial for us as Africans to defend the truth against such misinformation. We must ensure our voices are heard against the backdrop of lies. President Traoré may not be perfect, but he fights for real transformation. Not just for Burkina Faso, but for the whole continent. If Traoré were removed or worse, assassinated, it could mean the end of this revolution. And let's be honest, we might wait decades before we see a leader like him again. History shows us what happened with Thomas Sankara. After he was assassinated, Africa longed for leaders brave enough to challenge the outdated system. Today, Ibrahim Traoré is that leader. He represents hope not just for Burkina Faso, but for all of Africa. He proves we can cultivate leaders who truly prioritize their nation. Yet instead of supporting him, some would rather drag him down. Many have sold their loyalty to foreign interests rather than their own country. They are attempting to sabotage the very future they claim to care about. What's deeply troubling is that the Ivory Coast, a neighboring African country, is accused of assisting in blowing up Burkina Faso's stability. But maybe, just maybe, with all these new security measures in place, he can protect himself and ensure the revolution lives on. What do you think? Do you see Traoré as a hero fighting for his nation's future, or do you view him differently? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like this video and share it with others who should learn about this important story. Together, let's amplify the truth.